Colorado instructors. I'm Mike Small, your regional training coordinator, coming to you from WPFSU in snowy Colorado. We have a twofold message today. First, I'd like to wish you on behalf of family headquarters, Daniel and myself, we'd like to wish you a very Merry Christmas, prosperous New Year, and a safe holiday. Secondly, it's a training opportunity to cover our Colorado Addendum. Due to Pearson VUE making some significant changes to the national curriculum outline, we thought it would be best that we address this so that we're all getting the same message on the changes that we need to make to our curriculum. Okay. So we're going to start with the curriculum addendum that you will all be receiving. I sent an email out, so you should have an email copy. You will get a hard copy in your instructor pack, and then we will be ordering them with your supplies to hand out with each book that you hand out in the state of Colorado. Okay, so the addendum changes for 2011 starts with Unit 2, Application, Underwriting, and Policy Delivery. It's important that we make sure we make these changes in the proper area so that we're not teaching from the addendum but incorporating the information into the area where it is supposed to be. Okay, so starting with page 11 and 12, we have revised suitability of life insurance and annuity. Now, suitability of life insurance and annuity is an area that we have always done a good job of in Primerica because it's really part of our core beliefs in offering the right product and doing the right thing. And really, when you come to suitability, whether it's life insurance or annuity, it's really all about doing the right thing. So we need to make sure that you're covering that area. Two areas that have really come back from our previous books that we've had is two areas, the human life approach and the needs approach. So we're going to teach both of those areas. The human life approach has to deal with really how much income a person is going to make over their lifetime. You calculate the insurance to fit that need. The human needs approach looks at the expenses, and this is really an excellent opportunity for us. You know, one of the things I've always talked to you guys about is layering Primerica into our presentation. Not teaching Primerica, not doing an opportunity meeting, but layering Primerica in where we can. It's an excellent opportunity to really talk about our financial needs analysis, because our financial needs analysis follows this exactly. This would not be deviating from the curriculum. This would not be teaching Primerica. This would be just really talking about one of the great things that Primerica does for the public that fits right into our curriculum. Okay, so we want to teach that needs approach and then talk about how our financial needs analysis follows that exactly. Okay, on page 20, there's going to be an area that I've never heard of, so it's obviously new information, at least I believe it is. It's called STOLI, or Stranger Originated Life Insurance, and then we also have IOLI, which is Investor Originated Life Insurance. Now the bottom line, both of these are illegal in most states. This is a situation where investors are basically taking out life insurance on a client. That person sells the policy to the investor, and of course the investor waits for that person to pass away to benefit. That is not the purpose of life insurance. It violates the purpose of life insurance. It violates really what all we stand for in Primerica. But we want to make sure that you read this section, understand it, and implement that, teach that material in the area where it's supposed to be taught on page 20, number D. Okay? And then it will also, if you go down in that paragraph, it will explain why that is illegal in most states. Bullet E is the U.S. Patriot Act. Okay? I don't know if we have taught this before, but, and then, by the way, whenever there is additions to the outline, it usually means these are new areas that they're going to teach on the exam. We're also going to have some areas that we're going to delete. Whenever an area is deleted, it means they're no longer going to ask questions about that on the exam. Okay? So this U.S. Patriot Act is an addition. It's the anti-money laundering. It really was passed to strengthen the measures to protect against terrorism that happened on 911. Okay? So again, read all of those areas. Make sure you bring out the important points in money laundering, which is placement, layering, and integration. Okay? There's an excellent example that's given in there. Make sure you use that example. Then it discusses the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. And then there's a number of bullets. Make sure you cover those bullets in class. Okay. Turn it over to page 21 and 22. I think I'm on, am I on another? No, I'm still on 2. Okay. It says to delete the National Do Not Call Registry. Okay. Now let me point out something to you here, team. We're not going to delete the National Do Not Call Registry. Okay. Because this outline change is for the national outline, I have reason to believe that there are do not call questions on the Colorado portion of the exam. And because there is only one area in our book where we discuss the do not call, which happens to be on the national part, we are going to still teach the national do not call registry to make sure that our students are prepared for the questions that they may see on the Colorado portion of the exam. Okay? Hopefully everybody understands me. If you don't understand that, please give me a call. Okay, moving on to Unit 3. Introduction to Life Insurance and Types of Policies. Okay? On page 30, you're going to add return of premium policy. Okay? So again, you're going to read that. Make sure that you're discussing what return of premium is about. Now typically, they don't get into a lot of detail here on the test when you start talking about return of premium. Really, return of premium policy is a term policy that really is more expensive in order to return the premium to the client. And there's many different types. There may be a 50% return of premium. There may be a 100% return of premium. And obviously, the premium cost is going to be related to the risk that they take, whether it's 100% or 50%. Okay. So you may get a question along the lines of comparing a return of premium policy to a level term premium policy. Obviously, the return of premium policy would be more expensive. We did not need to get in very much more detail than that. What I really want to make sure you do is don't get sucked into a discussion of whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. That's not on the test, and that can lead into straying off into a lot of different areas that we don't want to get into, okay? So make sure you don't get sucked into an opportunity meeting here as to whether that's good or bad. Okay, on page 34, we're going to delete endowments. Hallelujah. I don't know how long it's taken for somebody to wake up and realize we don't need to teach endowments, but we can delete endowments. We don't have to talk about endowments. And that also meant MECs, Modified Endowment Contracts. So it goes right along with endowments. On page 39, you're going to add equity index life. Okay, we've talked about equity index in the past in relation to annuities, but now we're going to talk about equity index in terms of life insurance, okay? Basically, it's interest-sensitive universal life. Now, we know universal life is already interest-sensitive and unbundled from that protection. However, the interest-sensitive is not necessarily based on equity index. So the difference here is going to be still universal life policy, but now the cash value is not only interest sensitive, but tied to an index, like the S&P 500, for instance, okay? Now, if you drop down to page 41, it talks about deleting level premium, okay? This is an area, once again, that we are not going to delete, talking about level premium. I believe it's a concept issue here. In order for us to teach term insurance, a person needs to understand the concept of term versus cash value. Temporary insurance versus permanent insurance. In order to understand the concept, you must understand what increasing level and decreasing term is and how it's used. So we're going to continue to teach level premium, even though our addendum says we're not going to talk about it, okay? Once again, folks, this is an opportunity for layering, okay? Once you're talking about your term insurance here, what I've always done when I was teaching was then go into the benefits of a Primerica term policy. Okay, again, this is not outside of the curriculum outline. Okay, all we're doing is promoting Primerica here in an area where it fits. And when you start talking about our increasing benefit rider, our terminal illness benefit rider, our child rider, times however many children they got, covers them to age 25. I don't know how many policies I've sold in the classroom. Now, did I actually make the transaction? No. But I've had numbers of students say, hey, I wasn't going to get my policy, but I'm calling my recruiter today and getting my policy. So that is an excellent place to interject that. Unit 4, life insurance policy provision, riders, options, and exclusions. Page 59, we're going to, basically it's a name change. Accelerated living benefit is changed to accelerated death benefit, okay? Now, we've basically always have taught it both ways. How you teach it is not going to change. We just want to bring attention to the changing the name of it from a living benefit to an accelerated death benefit, okay? Anybody have any problems with that, please call me. I'll be able to explain that to you. We're going to delete cost of living rider. Very good. On page 60, we're going to add long-term care rider, okay? And we've talked about long-term care in the past, but we've always talked about it as a separate policy. In this case, it's going to be an attachment to a life insurance policy. So make sure you read that area and teach it accordingly. On page 6, we can go to Unit 5, taxes, retirement plans, and Social Security, okay? On page 84, we're going to go into business use of insurance. And again, this has always been an area where we have never spent a lot of time because there's very few questions on the test that involves business use, taxes, and that type of stuff. Very small area of our tests. So here again, just make sure you read over it so you're giving the proper attention and teach it in the proper way. Item A, where we talk about key employee insurance, it goes into who the key employee is and how it's used. I think that's very helpful for background information and to be thorough in your teaching. However, the question usually comes from a tax perspective. Meaning the premiums are not tax deductible. You know, anyway, so it's usually a tax question that you're going to cover there. But again, a lot of thorough information that you need to become familiar with so you have the background for it. On page 85, you have the buy-sell agreement, which is, again, business use of insurance. Make sure I think we've always done a really good job there, but make sure you, I don't know if this stuff had been taken off the test before or if they just re-emphasize it. Anyway, it says buy-sell agreement revised. So therefore, it looks like it's going into a little bit more detail than we have in the past. Make sure you read that and teach it accordingly. And then lastly, on page 84 through 88, we're deleting all of that information. We'll no longer teach deferred compensation, split dollar, or executive bonus, which again, hallelujah. We didn't need to teach that stuff in the first place. So that covers your entire addendum. Make sure you put the information in the proper place in your book. Make sure that you're up on your content knowledge so that you can express that in a way that students can understand it, that you can take something that may be a little bit complicated for some people and keep it simple. But hey, I want to end with this. Team, I'm so proud to be teammates of yours. We have the best cadre of instructors in the country, no doubt. I know that my peers are jealous of me. I am the luckiest RTC in the country. I'm so proud to work with you. We're going to do some great things in 2011. Have a good day.